Yeah, so just getting myself set up. I've got this weird setup of a drumstick and some bungee cords to have my phone above my paper. So yeah, I wanted to, my name is Lee, welcome to the world of Hairy Lee. Please, if you liked my video, subscribe, like the video. It really does make a difference, it really helps. Thank you for that. I want to make a model of a spaceship out of cardboard. I want to do it in the part of the style of the Millennium Falcon from the Star Wars universe. Thank you to Disney for all of that. Recognition to them. But I want to change it. There's a reason for that. The reason is that I can change. The reason for that is I can make the copy of the original Millennium Falcon, because there are designs on the internet to do that all from scratch, and that's great. But I want to challenge myself, so I want to change the design a little bit. And something we're going to do now is look at the design and begin maybe messing around and seeing what we think. So the Millennium Falcon hull being circle, I got myself a new compass and protractor set, really, because these are the two tools that I probably misplace the most often. So here we are. So first thoughts first, paper's in the right place, you have enough light, you can hear my voice. Okay, I think we're good. So the picture that we're about to make is going to be representation of the bigger model. So for the sake of easy math, I want to use numbers on here. That's no good, that pencil, I need to sharpen that, but I have plenty others. Say hello to Bob. So if I work it out using this squared paper, roughly, well, you see, if I follow the squares rather than worry about the size, then because I'm on the squares and they're all the same, it'll be easier to add more to it. But I want something, I want the model to be about 5 feet long, about 3 feet wide. Why? Just because, really. So if I do it each 5 feet by 3 feet, so the number that goes into both of those is 3. So if I put a mark down, a point for the center of our spaceship, and then go really the diameter being 3 feet is that whole circular hull design. So if I keep going to that, let me see what we can do. So 1 2 3 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 is there, and then I want to go 9. Already I'm a bit stuck because odd numbers don't work on squared paper like this. So rather than 3 by 5, let's go, well, think about how to do this. If I do it 4, so 3 times 4 is 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's the outside there. And then so 3 by 4 is 12, and then 3 by 5 is 5 by 4 by 5 is 20. Forgive my math, people. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's approximately the outer edges of the structure. So let's do a light pencil line outline of where this thing is going to fit. So why am I doing these models? Well, COVID really kicked it off, because when COVID first started in 2022 now, I don't remember. When COVID first started, I knew that craziness was going to be coming. I knew that there would be struggles. I knew that there would be issues. And because of that, I wanted to get ahead of that and add some chaos to my own life that I was in control of, because I thought the chaos of COVID was not going to be under my control. So anyway, back to the model. I want to do the shortest length as the beginning circle. If I go for the longest length, it'll go outside and everything will be too big. All right, so I need to adjust the pencil here. And I picked this stuff up at the local dollar store. You don't expect longevity from these things. You don't expect too much precision. And that's fine. What's more important to me is to get on and do the designing and building, and that's the bit I really like, as you will see as we go. So let's do that circle. So point down, and the trick with one of these is to not push the pencil. You want to guide the pencil around, and yes, it's going to slip. That's perfectly fine. This is just a rough drawing. Right, so that's the first. Let me highlight that in black for you. This thing will probably take me a number of months to build until I'm happy with it. At the final point, we'll spray it up in grey. And you folks can tell me what you want to do with it. A cup of tea. Now, okay, the original Millennium Falcon has a structure that is intended, as far as the makers are concerned, to make a means for the vessel, when it's flying in space, in this space here, it would hold cargoes, vessels. So it has these it has that shape. And that's great, but I want to be able to move that around. Now I'm thinking maybe adding another circle for the hull. So let's do another one, and then I'll cut that other one out. Does it go, is it going to get on anything else? Nope, that's fine. And then once I've cut it out, nope, I'm using the pencil to point. rather than the metal pointer. And once I've cut this out, we can play around with it. Now, one of the things that model making likes is when things are not symmetrical. Because when they're not symmetrical, the human eye will linger on some part that's symmetrical, that's not symmetrical. That means that if you add symmetry as well as asymmetrical sections, the maker can guide how the human eye views the model. There are ways, symmetry is one of the ways to trick the human eye into looking at the model. There are other ways using a thing called greeblies, which I will make a video on at some point soon, because they are another wonderful part of the whole. This is a spaceship that you know nothing about, and the parts on the ship that you can see, you don't know what they do, but you assume because they're there they do something. Right, so I have this other disc now. Now I could join them up and maybe have something coming off here, or I could have this here and maybe have something coming off there. I like that idea. Don't know how it will work. A little bit of overlap is a good thing, I think, because of the way the structure would work. I realise that the real spaceship, but the spaceships don't exist, so but for my purposes, I want some recognition of how things might happen. I'm being a bit ham-fisted, I'm afraid. Alright, so that gives us this. It's rough drawing, don't worry about how accurate I am with the pen. And we'll do that. That section will probably not exist, because when they join together there'll be there will be pieces hidden that will be joining them together, as there would in a vessel that would be the real thing. Now, do I want to have something that comes out here, maybe? Like an engine, I suppose. It could come out that way, but I also like it when these spaceships have structures that don't always make sense. Now I like that, but I feel something should be here. Something like that. So let's see what happens if we add those. At the moment, the particular sizes of these things is not important. The idea, and getting the idea down on paper, is what's important. Now that I like. That's really odd, which is great. Now the original spaceship has this in the middle with some guns. I'm probably going to keep something like that. Guns on the top, guns on the bottom. And this is where we can begin to come away from the design, from the original vessel. Now, these two sections here at the back, I think what I will do is actually have them come up like that and be raised. So rather than it just the back just being flat like that, the back of it would be raised, and then that raised part would probably go all the way into there. Yeah, and do that at the top, that at the bottom. Now what this is, I don't yet know. I suspect it'll be some kind of circular mechanism. And if I'm going to do that with this, with the top one, then I think I should do the same with the bottom one. Now, nice thing is that these are just ideas, and at the moment we don't have to stick to the ideas. I mean, this to me feels a bit like it's a void and should have something there, but that because of that feeling, I'm not going to put something there because that adds a little bit of space fantasy. Now, we've got, so if I draw that out again, let's not use a piece with dots on it. If I make it bigger, let's make it, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If I make it 10, so that would be 20. How many squares is 20? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's plenty. I have much I can do. Okay, so this needs to be 10 squares from there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yep, that's 10. So, because what I want us to do from this video, please do like and subscribe. It makes a big difference to me. Comment, because one of the things I would like to do is to have people give their suggestions about parts of the ship that they would like to add and change, and I'd like to be able to do that for you folks. Right, so yeah. Now is that, let's pull this one down a couple of steps. Because what I want to do is we'll do this picture and then we'll come back and we'll outline it so that we actually have an outline, a workable outline. All right, so it's a little too big. than my design, but that's fine. No, let's do it. No, we can use this. We can use this. Let's have it come out here. And now, already we are seeing changes in the design because these parts, as much as I like them, are, well, I can always add more to that. Yeah, that's not a problem. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Maybe if I made this I know I need a better eraser. I don't care at this point. 1, 2, 3, 4, because it's just a rough idea to give me some sense of how I want this thing to look. So that's a void. That can go. That line can go. It's not a void. That line can go. And I want the one beneath it to be slightly out of alignment with the other one. Now this one looks like it could be bigger for whatever reason. I mean, in my head at some point I will be thinking about, okay, what does this thing do? Why is it the shape it's in? Because everything has a reason, right? And then we can begin to what does it do? What's its purpose? This spaceship, what does it do? Yeah, I know, that's a terrible circle. Anyway, take my pen, and we want these things on the front, I think. So let's go to there, right. So let's go there and there. And it's okay that we have overlapping sections. And so the purpose of a spaceship is that it, what am I doing? Hang on. I'm doing some weird stuff. Let's go back. Let's backtrack a little bit. Oh gosh, another terrible eraser. Right. That's the center. So these two parts are split. We'll draw that there. And we'll draw that there to give that impression of a split. Yeah, I move my paper around because it sometimes it needs, it's easier for me to envisage what I'm trying to draw when I do that. Now that is looking a bit chunkier than I might like. not quite low enough, my pencil. I've set myself about a limit of about half an hour for this video, so if my alarm goes off, I apologise. If we haven't quite gotten a working photograph, I may continue. That's not right for that size of thing. Let's look at something that is, find myself something, because I've always got stuff around. No, let's see what I've got that might give me that image. That's a little big, but it'll do. Alright, so from there, right, this from there to there, is that right? Yeah. Okay, and then there to there. So that's the centre. And it's 7 in size. So I want to find out, I want to mark the centre. So let's take my thing. The actual centre is there. So we go 3.5 there. It's going to be about, there we go, perfect. That's about right. So 3.5 there. It might not work. It might be out. No, that's fine. That's fine. Keep the edge should really be a bit neater, but that's fine. So again, over here, 7. So from here, 1, 2, 3.5 on that line. Really, at the moment, all I'm trying to do is get an above view of the model. Right, where's my black pen go? There it is. So we do this. And yes, I know they're terrible circles. I apologise. The real thing will be a proper circle, I do promise. Right. And come. Now the reason that these are separated from the centre in terms of there's a line, this line, is because these things are slightly lower than the circle. And as these gun emplacement thingies are higher. Okay. I hope you all are seeing this right. I can't see my camera right now, so I'm trusting that it is working. When I make future videos, we will adjust that as we need to. At some point I will make a video and show you my setup. Okay, so right, so these are the top, the panels that make up the surface at the top. That, that. A complete circle being 360 degrees. We want 6 panels of 60 degrees each. Is just a nice way for this model to work. Now the thing I need to work on, let's get a pencil so I can rub it out. The thing I need, where's Bob go? There you are. The thing I need to work out is what's happening here. What I could do is, you see over here we've got these kind of walking spaces, and it's raised, that bit there. I can do the same on this, see, and it very much depends on what happens when I'm making the model, but these will come down a little bit like they do with the rest, because the whole thing is like a donut. It's thinner at the edge, so if I do that and I do that, that begins to give me an idea. Now if we let's put those lines in. I also want to make sure that I'm not going to block off any other part of the ship that I want. So whereas these are raised and will go into that part of the ship, this can also be raised, and if we make it the same color, the same dimension, then there'll be a sense of uniformity about the whole thing. So that's going to be the same size as that and that at the top, and it then will come down like that. Now what may actually happen is I will add a bit of a dip here and then it will continue, but in principle I think that's a workable design. So I do thank you for your company in this. It's very nice to have people with me. With my mental health stuff going on, life can get a little lonely at times, and it's nice to have someone alongside when I'm doing these things, because it's fun, right? Okay, so that is currently our workable design. Let me check the time.